Hello everyone, it's UB. This will be a trade review video on my current YFI official trade number 75 from the Haven. If you haven't seen these videos before, this is just a way for me to verbally explain my thought process on why I entered where I did, where my take profits are, stop losses, etc., all that good stuff. This is not meant to be hindsight analysis in any kind of way. I'm actually not using the replay function on this one. This one is happening live right now. This video is sponsored by Prime XBT. If you guys are looking for an exchange that has over 50 plus assets, you could trade gold, silver against Bitcoin. Definitely check out Prime XBT. Click the link in the description. Use promo code CryptoUB and you will get a 50% deposit bonus into your account. So let's start here with this YFI long. I originally posted the trade right here, but let me just back up a little bit. So YFI was on my radar for a long, probably around here. All I was waiting for was a break of the diagonal. So if you guys have seen these videos before, sometimes diagonals matter in my arguments, other times they don't matter at all, and it's just a way for me to visually see the diagonal and the relationship with price and the diagonal. But for this trade specifically, I would say 70% of my argument came from this diagonal. Okay, so we could see that when price did break above the diagonal, it did not spend much time above there at all for the last, let's say, week. Okay, so for the last week, we were getting rejected by that diagonal. So all I was waiting for really was a break above the diagonal and consolidation above. So it got my attention down here. And this area is significant because we have a swing low. If we extend that swing low to the right, we could see that this is a pretty clear support and resistance flip. Even right here, it's kind of a similar setup to what we have here. Right, we have a deviation below the swing low, reclaimed it, spring right back up. Obviously got rejected, but similar setup, right, to the deviation below the swing low. Okay, and if we if we go all the way to the left, we could see why these horizontals are important. Let me just go to the 4-hour right here. Okay, so we made our high, came back down a bit, consolidated in this area, and hit our all-time high. I believe that's the all-time high. Not entirely sure. All-time high on Binance at least. Okay, so this is a significant area. So if we extend those lines to the right, we can see that throughout this range, this has been a key area to flip into support. Okay, that is the 21.3 level and the 22.5-ish level. Okay, so we have the swing low, that key level, and the diagonal. Okay, so price has deviated below the lows. So what this means is people are breakdown shorting. Okay, so something like this would be a very valid trade to take. Right, we break below that key high time frame support, as I mentioned right here, 21.3, 21.4, whatever, with a stop loss maybe above the origin of the breakdown, which would be something like this, with a take profit down here. This would be a valid trade, right? And because price consolidated for so long below here, there's going to be more shorts that pile on. Okay, so now that price popped above the diagonal, if you haven't been stopped out, you're heavily underwater. Right, so you're underwater, shorts have been trapped, fresh longs have been opened, and now that we've reclaimed the diagonal and actually have held above it for 16 hours is significant in my book. Okay, so my stop loss is based on these lows right here. So originally I actually wanted to put my stop loss right here, but I felt like that was way too tight considering I entered right up here, which I'll explain why I entered as well right there. But initially I wanted my stop loss right here, but I felt like that could be risking it a little bit because price could have easily retested this area, which clearly it did. We've got a nice reaction off of there so far, so that's good to see. So I just did it a few ticks lower than that lower high time frame support, just below these wicks around here. So you can see we wicked into this area quite a few times, so stop loss below there. And my original entry was right on this candle. So I like this a lot because we broke above the diagonal, and at that point we've been holding above it for 7 hours. And again, if you look in the past reactions to this area, we did not hold very long above the diagonal whatsoever. And that confluent with the deviation below the swing lows and the nice spring above really solidified the entry for me. And we saw the candlestick patterns right here. So these are gravestone dojis. Gravestone dojis happen typically at the top of an uptrend, something like this. A gravestone doji would be here, and then you'd see a sell-off. Okay, this is not technically a gravestone doji, but it has the same look. Okay, so essentially what that means is bulls pushed the price up and sellers took over, right? And it closed basically right where the candle opened, right? But what's important about this area is we saw 1, 2, 3, 4 of those pretty ugly candles in a row, but bulls were still not giving up, right? Despite the hard selling into that level. Okay, so right when price decided to fill these wicks here is when I entered. Okay, so right on this candle is when I entered. And my entry was 24.1. Obviously, hindsight is 2020. I could have gotten a lower entry, but at that point, I mean, why would I risk it, right? So the only thing that's slightly uncomfortable about this trade now is my stop loss placement. I could have definitely done a better job with my stop loss placement, but thought we would have had a lot more momentum on the breakout so far. But right now we're kind of flagging, bull flagging right into support. So I'm not too concerned. An issue though is this could definitely get wicked out before going higher. If that's the case and I do get wicked out and we reclaim like 23.5, 23.4, something like that, I'll probably just re-long. But for now, everything is okay. Not ideal because I'm still underwater, but it is what it is. My first take profit is the origin of series of lower highs. That's nothing new. I always target that on diagonal breaks, so that's nothing new at all. Take profit 2 is 31.8, and that is a really, really key support and resistance flip right here. All right, this is that take profit 2 right around here, just $200 lower than that. But as you can see, key level, and then take profit 3 is 34K, which again is kind of like the top of that little support and resistance, key support and resistance range right there, and also this swing high. So if we extend that swing high to the left, we can see we basically have like a mini range of resistance. Jeez, I can't click that. Okay, mini range of resistance, right? So that's basically my entire Wi-Fi trade. Hopefully it works out and I don't get wicked out, but everything looks fine. Again, not ideal, but fine. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.